could be really cool. So like you could just start with everything on, or you could find like maybe 3 or 4 of the power-ups in the level. That could be really nice. Trying to think what else. Yeah, I thought he felt okay. I don't have a good sense of like, again, because the game is because it has a dash, because there are so many like corrections, and because there isn't any tight platforming required, I don't really have any complaints about that he felt sluggish at times or didn't, or like that he has clear inertia that's like a slow build up. Like none of those things really matter because his sword has such a huge hitbox that you just hit it and you clear all of the bullets in front of you, and you know, you never really are like going for very precise jumps, so like it never comes up. That being said, if you make the sword a little tighter, if you make it so that it requires a little more skill to do those things, then those, you know, any problems or flaws with the underlying player mechanisms might show up. Like one thing you might consider doing is turn off all the bullets and add a couple like very thin platforms that you have to jump across, and then play the game with the attack turned off. And that would be a good test for, well, can I avoid all of the enemies? Like, is this movement system, like, is the movement really tight enough that I can A, make these jumps, B, avoid the enemies without actually needing to defeat them? Like, can I do all of this? And the reason I say turn all the bullets off is because, like, at times this game was a bullet hell, and, like, you couldn't avoid them. Which is, you know, again, why I wanted the iframe dash, so I could, but apparently the right answer was to attack. But yeah, very impressive. Very impressive. Remember your sword's block bullets. I like that. Right at the bottom. Right at the bottom where no one is going to read it. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very, very cool, man. Very cool. Very nice game. We're on Momonite. Oh, wait, hold on. We're on... Oh, yeah, Manifold Complex. Going once, going twice. You didn't show up. Mammonite, I know you're in here. Say Mammonite if you're the guy. We're not staying all the way to the end, but I gotta go now. No problem, Detective Lassos. Really enjoyed your disco game. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you, Big Meter. Flightless Ferret, absolutely happy to give the feedback. You know, that was a very cool game that you guys made. So thank you for sharing. Okay, play as an adventurer and smash goblins with your loot bag. Cool. Let's put this in Firefox so it runs a little better. Oh, yeah, I am looking forward to only having 3 left. It is almost 5. I did not expect this. All right, Wasad, F to attack, go. I would, well, you know what, it's fine. Whew. Okay, that was quick. Let's full screen it so that I can, and... Oh, that's cool. I'm guessing that you're supposed to be a woman, just based on the fact that you're wearing makeup. Okay. Survey says no, I cannot move the camera. Sometimes I get a double hit, sometimes I don't. Sometimes my hit staggers them, sometimes it doesn't. That's true, man. Men can wear makeup. Not saying they can't. Not sure why I get a double hit sometimes and sometimes I don't. I'm just going to hide over here. They don't seem to have aggroed me. Trials somehow reminded of painting mechanic in Okami. Trails. Oh, trails. What trails? Not sure what you're talking about. Okay, so there are 4 goblins. This one's now aggroed on me. And I'm dead. Okay, took a damage. I appreciate... Okay. Weapon trails. Oh, sure. High score, 380. Your bag gets bigger as you have more coins and you attack slower. Play game. Not taking any more submissions tonight. Come back tomorrow. Okay. So now I have 92 coins. 180. Does your bag hit harder when you have more coins? No. The collisions are just glitched, and sometimes I hit twice. Sometimes it checks, and I hit twice. Okay. So like, yeah, I like the art style. Not loving the skull, but I like some of the other stuff. Also not loving this 380. This looks like you did a stretch instead of a thou. Again, come back tomorrow and send the link then, and I will happily play it and give you critical feedback. Just do it tomorrow, man. It's way too late for me right now. I had 1 hour left for end screen left. I got you. So if I'm gonna have a slower attack and I'm gonna have more coins in my bag, I'd like it if it felt like I was hitting harder. And also, like, it doesn't make any sense to me that, like, so it looks like, to me, that the bag is breaking and I'm losing coins when I hit them. That's what it looks like. That's what I honestly thought was happening. And I would definitely add a stagger. Because, like, I don't know if you're able to do this game super well. But, like, yeah, compo is hard to do. Like, it doesn't feel good to whap someone and have him whap you right back. Especially if you're hitting them with a giant club of coins. And so, like, it feels like... Oops. It feels like the thing I'm supposed to be doing is, like, barely getting them to miss and then swinging. But, like, they have time. You could start with end screen, core mechanic, goal, lose condition, win condition. Yeah, the pillars... So, like, I'm not even that upset about the pillars. Like, the pillars I get because I understand that it's hard to make camera controls that don't suck. And, like, they aren't the worst thing. Like, I can figure out where I am. I can just play in this area. They're not great, certainly. But they're not, like, the worst thing about this game. I would say, like, the core feeling of hitting things with the bag is such that, like, that is the thing that really needs to be focused on. Because, like, it doesn't feel good. And I know it's not supposed to. I know it's supposed to be like, oh, well, you know, you've got a heavy-ass bag. Maybe if your bag wasn't so heavy, you wouldn't hit so slow. Dirty. But, like, you do like the art. This is compo. Is this a new feature of Git? Lol, Git good. Yes. Goblins aggro on... so you can aggro goblins specifically using pillars. Yeah, and like, yeah, but like the pillars could be holes, right? High score. Again, I got 380. I don't understand this high score. I'm constantly getting 380. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Okay, so Yeah, the goblin attack speed is really high. The like the bag doesn't hurt them for as or sorry, doesn't stagger them. So like those are the first two big things. Because like once you get enough goblins, it shouldn't matter if the one you hit got staggered. You should be worrying about the ones behind you. And so like I don't even get to that point. The goblins in front of me just fucking kill me anyway because they trade with me and I lose. The like the line of sight thing is nice, but like it's not necessary. I couldn't find it. By all means, Big Meter, please relink your game in chat. So like also the hit swing for the goblins seems really wide. It seems really generous in terms of whether you get hit. Like I can be dodging to the side. Like that's almost 270 degrees. He like winds up and he like cleaves across everything. Does he really need to do that big of an attack? Is that really necessary? Like it feels like the only way to avoid, like an overhead would be one thing, because then you could be like, oh, I sidestepped it. Instead, this is just like, fuck you if you're near me. You're getting hit. And like, yeah. Again, another too hard game. Like I think this, again, compo games are very hard. You don't have a lot of time. You don't have time to balance. All of that aside, this game is too hard. And other than all of the things I've already suggested with the bag, like your underlying idea is that things should get harder as your bag gets fuller. It should be more obvious that your bag is getting fuller when you're murdering the goblins, because that's not happening. That's not clear to me at all. Again, I thought the bag was getting less full. The Jadu, those are level 25 goblins with greater whirlwind. Do you think it would be better if you could rotate the character? No. I don't think I don't think that's the problem. And like it's like this is fine. The fact that it's just like up, down, left, right, that's fine. Like this game would be fine as top down. Like there's nothing about this game mechanically that like lends itself to one camera view versus another. Like that makes it so that like facing, like it's totally fine that I only can move in 4 directions. That's not the thing that's limiting the game. I'm perfectly capable of hitting these goblins with the 4 directions that I'm moving in. What's limiting the game is the fact that like when I hit the goblins, they have like after a couple of them, they get the chance to just trade with me. Yeah, it could be Bastion style top down, same controls, and you would still have the same problem where it's complete, like they attack too quickly and it's really unfair. Yeah. Gosh. I'm really, the thing is like I'm trying to be constructive about other aspects of the game as well. Like I don't want to just focus on like your combat's bad so your game's bad because your game's all combat. I'm like I think it's really cool that you got this done, especially for the time that you had. You know, compo, doing a 3D game in compo. Yeah, like I don't know what games you've played with combat. Igor Scorched, he's not going to do a third-person game with locked combat in 48 hours. That's asking a shitload. Like, I don't need twin stick. I don't. Just move the camera above and see if it's fun there versus moving it to the side. I mean, you could even just make the pillars like transparent when they're between the player and the camera. Like, it's very easy to just be like, oh, this pillar is blocking someone's view. Let's make it disappear, or let's make it like mostly transparent, so you kind of know it's there, but like it's mostly out of the way. Like there's a ton of ways of fixing the pillar issue or the weird camera angle choice. Like that's not why the game isn't feeling good. It adds to the viewer experience sucking, but the game doesn't feel good because walking up to a goblin and hitting it feels like trash. It's just like. You walk up, you hit it, it hits you back. You walk up, you hit it, it hits you back. And it hits you back in a way that doesn't feel dodgeable. It doesn't feel like I can... Again, I'm going to go back to my decision-making. The decision-making for this game it feels like the only strategy that is at all viable is cheesing them in such a way where you hit them through the pillar. 3 isn't necessary. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But let's talk about the game that Big Meter wanted to make. Big Meter wanted to make a 3D game. They made a 3D game. There is sort of an artistic intent there. And so, like, cheesing them through the pillar feels bad because it feels like you're not really playing the game the way it's meant to be played. Hitting them from just out of range feels bad because it doesn't feel like it's the thing. If the bag becomes bigger, there is a bigger stun duration. Yes, if there is a stun duration at all, it isn't apparent to me. Also, normalizing the bag, the way the bag hits, because sometimes it hits for 2 and sometimes it hits for 1, and I think that's a bug in when you're detecting the bag trigger mechanism, where like if the bag is inside of them, then the trigger is firing twice for some reason, and so you should just like have an attack ID for every time the player attacks, and have the goblin keep track of which attack IDs have already hit it, or like what the most recent attack ID that hit it is. And if the current attack ID is, greater than the most recent attack ID, then it gets hit by this attack too, and that ID gets added, and you take the health difference. But like if it's the same attack as the most recent attack that's hit it, it doesn't hit the goblin again. Like that's just like a very simple way of making it so every attack has an integer that just keeps on going up, and then all of the goblins just remember which attack they got hit by the most recently. That's like makes it so you only get hit by 1 attack, because it feels weird when they get hit by 2 attacks. So yeah, I think. Oh, I had a great thought. So yes, as the bag gets bigger, it should stun them for longer. It should do more damage because you only have 3 health pieces. Maybe having a floating point health bar, a bar where like it does more damage, but like on smaller increments. So like you feel like you're getting stronger, because like with only like 3 discrete things to take away from the enemy, it's very hard to balance at what point you feel like you're suddenly stronger. It's too discrete. The other thing you could do is add a different attack. Like if the bag is like maybe there's a spin attack that when the bag is close to empty, it doesn't do anything. It's just like you spin halfway around and it's like barely anything. But when the bag is super full, you like spin around a ton and like, hit a bunch of the goblins and they go flying and maybe they get knocked off. Like make it so that when the bag gets bigger, like maybe you move slower, but you get something that feels good to do. Because like I understand that the theme is the harder it gets or the worse it gets, but like making your combat just suck incrementally more in a game isn't fun. Like that's not it's supposed to be like, oh, this is harder, and so I have to use more skill to do it better, as opposed to just, yeah, your sword sucks now, good luck. There you go. And there's not a lot you can do about it. So yeah, those are the big points for me. I'm gonna move to the next one. Thank you so much for sending your game in. I think it's regarding cues. Wanted the particle coins to fly to the coin meter to make the cues more obvious. So what I would do is make it so the goblins drop coins and that you pick them up, like drop bags of coins, and that like you pick them up and they go into your bag. Because right now when the bag comes down and the coins fly out like that, like having them go up to the top, that doesn't make any sense. Like they go into your bag, and so like having them be pickups that you walk over, or maybe you don't even walk over them. Maybe they just get sucked to your bag because fuck you. You're here, stand your ground. Thank you so much for being on top of that. Just Neosis. And so like that makes it clear to the player, oh, the bag's getting bigger. And maybe like it isn't obvious to me if the bag is bigger, but also just like in the player's idle state, make them hold the bag. The bag just comes out of fucking nowhere when they attack. It doesn't make any sense. Like make them be running with the bag like this. Be like, I've got a bag. So that like so instead of like running with a cape and doing this, just make them running with the bag and be like, you know, I'm gonna whap you with this thing. It starts out as empty and then like it gets bigger. Like make it visually get bigger to the point of absurdity. Make it to the point where it's like almost 3 times the size of the player. Thanks a lot, dude. Thanks Shoe Tracks. I will catch you later. I hope to God you're not Sinus, are you? Are you the last thing? Please tell me you're not the last thing. Are you the Sinus one, or are you Stand Your Ground? Or are you did I already do your game? Are you just checking out and letting me know that you're leaving? I will feel so bad if you are the last game. Okay, let me get this thing going. Oh, thank God for HTML5 web. Bot key. Okay, bolt key is Sinus. Okay, good. I haven't failed anyone. Sweet. Actually totally got the name from Ragnarok, man. Oh, cool. Oh shit, what am I doing here? Prevent the enemy from crossing your line. Water, put fire, grass. What? Change element. Oh, I can change elements. Okay. Is there a way of changing direction? Oh, fucking arrow keys. Alright. Sorry, arrow keys and changing elements. Understood. Okay, this is cute. So some of the elements... Ah! Okay. Oh, and I can fire up and down. Okay. Okay. I see. That was bullshit. Yeah, don't let that happen. Okay, so here's the first thing I would do. The first thing I would do... Oh, interesting. Oh, that's a cool mechanic. So there's like a progression for... So like I turn something, I go grass to fire, and then okay, that's a cool idea. That's a cool idea. So like that underlying idea has some like interesting merit. If you light the grass thing on fire, it's a fireball. You have to put it out with the water, and then it disappears. And then the fireball you put out with water, and the water thing, for some reason, grass makes it disappear. I'm fine with that. That's a fucking great idea. Like, what I would change is the entire aiming mechanism. Like, just scrap this shit. This discrete points, fuck that noise. I want to point with my mouse, I want to click, and I want it to fire to where I'm pointing. The more I fire, the faster the enemy appears. Cool, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. What the problem is also, why does fire work against water sometimes? Okay, go away. Okay, whatever. 2D aiming would be enough. I mean, all you would have to do is raycast the aimer, or like the pointer click into the screen, and then draw a vector from the this little, I'm gonna call it a goblet, and then you would have like an aiming thing, because like right now I don't feel like I can aim. Like I don't. Also, there is no depth perception. Yeah, like I just don't feel good. Like I feel like I have to wait until shit is coming up to me. Also, there's clearly like a squash court happening here. The music's alright. I don't love the music. I don't hate the music. There's clearly a squash court that everything is bouncing around in. And I think that's kind of funny. That's kind of a cute thing. But like, make me more aware of it. Because like right now, I don't understand what's going on with the squash court. Like, I don't know what the bounds of it are. It's just this grayness around me. The rules for when something changes or when something disappears aren't super obvious. Like, I don't really understand how many balls of each type I need to throw at a particular thing to make it go away. It seems like a couple fireballs sometimes destroys a water thing and sometimes doesn't. And then it seems like there is a progression to, like, first you throw a grass ball and then add a fireball, and then from that, or like, wait, no, sorry, at a grass first you throw fire and then you throw water. And so why isn't water the thing that's next in the queue? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm throwing a grass. I'm gonna need a I'm gonna need... Sorry, yeah, I'm throwing a grass. Wait, hold on, did I do that right? I'm throwing a fire. I'm gonna need a water immediately after. That's what I'm trying to say. When I have a grass ball coming at me, I know I need water right after. So why do I have to why do I have to cycle twice instead of once? Because I don't think there's any other combination that you need to do that with. So it should be like 1, 2. I will try hitting I. Immortal mode, have fun. Oh, okay, that's cool. I thought air was just another water. Fire, water, I mean, it's just 3 elements. I mean... yeah, I think the underlying concept is cool. I just think that, like, the aiming mechanism should be better. And, you know, like I said, the music isn't great. It's not terrible. It would be nice if the textures properly were globe mapped, because right now they're not. Right now there's a very clear seam. Would be nice. Not the biggest thing in the world. I'd love the background to have shape. You know, even if it's a skybox. If it's a skybox, fine. If it's not a skybox, if you want to be in an environment. And I guess I can launch a lot of grass balls. And then, like, the other thing is, I had a thought. Oh yeah, the balls don't make any noise when they bounce. They should make a noise. They should make a noise when they get destroyed. They should make a noise when they bounce. They should make a noise when they change whatever. Like, there should be more effect, more flourish, more juice, as they say, going on. It would be nice to have, like, things spawning the globes. Not necessary, but it would be nice. But yeah, I think by far the biggest complaint I have is the aiming system. Like, everything else about it is like, it's a fine idea. You know, it's not like super complicated. It would be cool to have, like, you know, more complicated structures coming at the player, like something that's like layered or something. I don't know, something that requires you to hit it with like a couple different types. And I think that your grass ball like started getting to that concept, but I think that you should like grow that idea. You know, again, I think that there's a progression that you could do with this, where, like, you know, you start out with like water, and then you give them fire, and then like you kind of build their way up to grass, and then like, because grass is clearly the hardest one to deal with, and then like creating harder situations for the player. Because right now, I mean, I get that it's just a random thing and it's supposed to get worse and whatever, but like you could at least like just do that simple 1, 2, 3 intro. Maybe you did, I don't remember. Where like one of each color is guaranteed to be the first 3 things the player deals with. I can hit restart and see if that's what happens. Fire. I don't think that's what happens. Grass. Yeah, It did fire, grass, water. I can't prove that that isn't what happens. Anyway, I think I don't have anything else to add to that. This music is bad. The music wasn't bad before. That chunk of music was bad. That chunk of music was obnoxious. No problem, man. Yeah, you don't want... And, like, I played games in Ludum Dare 39. You don't want music that's just noodling and, like, making noise. If it's, like, actively obnoxious, it's better that it isn't there. So that's, like, just one thing. I have no idea, sick. I have no idea how to search for a specific game. Okay. That was... Stand Your Ground. Last game. Is there any queue of game to judge? Come back tomorrow, and I will judge your game. And by tomorrow, I mean like in 8 hours. You can type the URL, of course, but just use lowercase, replace with dashes. Alright, man. I'm gonna just shut off the queue, and we're just gonna do this game, and we're gonna have a good time, and then I'm gonna be done. And I was right. It's gonna be about 5:30. Ludum Dare website is a mess. Sinus Not in Space is an online high score based shooter where you set your score before playing the level, but the higher score, the worse ship you have to survive with. Okay, in the main menu. Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna read all that. I'm way too tired. Erebus Wolf, go. Here you can select the levels. I like this. I really like this. I like selecting levels. Select a score. You can... Great. Okay. This is cool. All right, I would love a restore to default thing, but I'm just gonna fucking make my ship boss as fuck. Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay. It's a little fast. I would not... Great. I would not have clicking the mouse be move. Like, this is a known genre, right? So like you generally it's not my game, but I'll remind myself. Okay. So like this is a game. So when you're making a game in a genre that's like known, that's like this is a thing that people have expectations about how things work. Usually the right thing to do is change exactly one thing. Like take a genre and change one thing about the core idea or like the core structure of how that genre works, and that is your game. And the core thing that you are changing is the player gets to choose the high score. The player gets to choose the difficulty for the score. The thing that you shouldn't change is the control mechanism. If you're going to change the control mechanism, you have to keep everything else the same. And so the fact that the control mechanism doesn't make any goddamn sense is problematic. And so yeah, I get that you want to have it be like, oh, I'm pressing the mouse to go forward, but this is a twin stick shooter. That's what this is. This is a game that you should play with 2 joysticks or with a mouse and WASD. And you move around and you do stuff. And so needing to click to move feels very, very bad. It feels cumbersome. it seems like it would work great with a controller, doesn't it? It seems. I mean, it is a twin stick shooter, and so like the fact that I like have to dodge bullets by facing away from the enemy, dodge bullets that are, by the way, moving at me pretty fast, by like moving my mouse perpendicular to my player and clicking is not good. But that's the point. Sure. I get that you've added this handicap. And like I don't know, like you've played the game with this style of controls? Okay. Let me see if I can reword this in another way. It's late, so I might not be able to. You just need to be quick with your mouse. I'm sorry for that long pause, but like making the controls intentionally bad or intentionally cumbersome does not make the game better or harder. And so like that's not like this is like a fundamental philosophical thing about game controls. Like if you are you didn't intend to make them cumbersome. Okay. That's fine. I'm telling you that they're cumbersome. That's my feedback. Is I find the controls cumbersome. That can be my opinion. I would point you to a swath of games that all look very similar to your game. Everyday Shooter, what the hell? Beat Hazard. Shit, what's the one for PS4 that's really popular? I mean, there's one on Steam that just came out. Like, anyway, bottom line is this is a game type. Like, this is a game type that exists. It is called a twin stick shooter. That is the type of game that you have made. Geometry Wars is another example of this game type. Geometry Wars is probably one of the most popular versions of this particular game type. And so, like, I don't know if you have played most of the games where it is all done with the mouse and is all clicking, but most people that play games like this, the fun and the challenge in the game is aiming your player while also moving, strafing. Sure. There's a reason that a lot of games aren't made like Asteroids anymore. Anyway, this is just a fundamental thing that, like, I get that you aren't going to come with me on, and that's fine. But, like, that is my feedback, is that I don't, that, like, I find the fact that you can't strafe and that all of the controls, also the fact that, like, so here's an interesting, Asteroids doesn't, here's the thing, why aren't any of the enemies shooting at me? Generally in a twin stick shooter, or in a shmup in general, the enemies will try to hit you. I don't know if this is a byproduct of, like, I don't see enemy intelligence here. I don't know if I select level 4, if they will try harder to hit me. It looks like they did. It looks like that one tried harder to hit me. It also looks like, in general, You have crazy motherfuckers. Like you can't honestly tell me that you expect someone to be able to beat that. Can you beat level 4 at this score? Like, it's suddenly a bullet hell, and you're telling me that you have to drag your ship around by your nose? That's insane. Like 214 is the highest you've gotten. So like, what the hell is the point of having this entire chunk of the scale? Like there's no normalization in terms of the difficulty there. And like I'm just like trying to get a sense of your game. I've only played level 1. Let me just like get a sense of what the different levels are. Okay, so the yellow, so the triangles, which has quite obnoxious movement, but is fun once you learn it. I played Death versus Monsters. Okay. Okay. So let me just kind of get a sense of all your enemy types. Okay, so the triangles shoot at you. That's nice. Let's go to level 2. Let's see what the enemies in level 2 look like. So this has the hell spawners that just fuck your day up. And it also has these half circle type things that just kind of go towards you. Okay, those are cool enemy types. Very nice. Let me just kill myself, and I'll try the next level. Okay, and the little half things eventually start shooting at you when they get close enough. So this has tanks which deploy the blue squares and also shoot at you. That's cool. I think that's a nice idea. Let's try level 4. So level 4 has these things that laser beam you in the face. Level 5 has all of those. Level 6 has just 500 fucking squares. Level 7, level 8. So those are the main enemy types. Level 9 has some asteroids in it. What the hell are those? Let me see if I can get a sense of these. So they're asteroids. They break apart. They're asteroids. That's what they are. That's what they do. Point is finding the limit at which the levels is possible. I don't want to set the limit. Yes, and that is a novel idea, but you sort of have, right? This is the limit. Hey, what's up, Hound? Like this is the lowest. This is the highest score anyone can achieve. Like you've set that limit. There's nothing that, like you have done that. I don't think I'm gonna be able to convince you of this one. I just think that the blue squared enemies only exist because your control scheme is not tight enough to allow for all enemies to shoot at the player. You're having a philosophical question about what is like the core idea of your game. And I like this sliding scale thing. I think this is super cool. I really do. My problem is not with this. I think this whole idea is a great concept. I think that's what you need to focus your game on. I think the problem, and this is maybe just me as my problem, and as opposed to like your taste versus my taste, but my problem with this game is I am anticipating that it is a game that you have these sliding things, and then it plays like the modern games that you would normally play. And like I can give you an example of that. I'm just going to pull one up right now on Steam and show you what the fuck I'm talking about, because I don't know if you know what the fuck I'm talking about. And that's not an insult to you. That's not an insult to anything. That's just like maybe you don't know what these games are. Maybe you've never played games like this. So this is Beat Hazard. This is a game that is very similar to the game that you have made. And like this is the type of gameplay that I am expecting, and this is the type of gameplay that I think most people would be expecting from your game. And like it allows for basically this dynamic movement, and then your mouse is where you shoot. And this particular version of the bullet hell of the twin stick shooter genre involves having music going on in the background, and your gun pulses to the music, and the stronger the better the music is going, or like the more intense the music, the stronger your gun is, and then you pick up power-ups and do whatever else. And it's like super shiny, you got lots of things going around, things are moving slowly. This is the first level. You've got enemies that zap you, you've got enemies that shoot bullets at you, these guys just try to fly at you. Like there's a lot of things going on here. But this is the genre that I think most people that are going to see your game will assume it is part of. And the control scheme for that is a genre that assumes that I point in the direction I want to shoot, and I can use other buttons and inputs for controls. And like, I know I'm harping on this, I know this isn't the game you want to make, but that is just the criticism that I am giving, as like, this is a thing that people are probably going to feel weirded out about. So let me get out of that. Many web-based shooters which I play have novel shooting mechanisms, and it usually works. And that's my point. My point is that having a novel input system is the game, if you want that to be the game. The novel input system is the thing you change. If you want to change the novel input system and something else, it feels weird. It feels wrong. It suddenly is. You're changing too much from a standard genre or trope or idea that makes it so that people aren't ready for it. And so, like, if you wanted, like, if this was the sequel to a game that did the first thing, then suddenly people might come on board with it. And again, I'm never going to convince you of this, but this is my understanding. This is like the general academic understanding among game developers, game programmers, that like, you shouldn't change too much from a standard genre. You should pick one thing that's the core important thing about your game and change that and base everything around that one thing that you're changing. And everything else you just kind of borrow and make it so people are familiar with everything else. And then when you're introducing this one interesting new mechanic, that's the thing that like is really the shining gem of your game. And the shining gem of this game, from what I'm seeing, is this really cool setting the score thing and having a difficulty that affects the score, and that's the goal. And it's not the control scheme. But like, again, we don't have to go there. I like all of the enemies. And I'm sorry this is the last one I'm going out on. I'm sorry that this is just like the conversation we're having. I like all the enemies. I don't... I'm trying to think about other stuff with it. I mean, if I go for like the lowest score on level 6, let me just give this like an honest play. Oh wait, level 6 is the level that's just 500 blue things. Let me give this a play on here. So this just lets me, so like the idea is that like these... I have a ton of health, and even then I wasn't able to beat it. But also, like, I am able to just go where I want to because I'm pissing bullets. That's sort of a fundamental thing. I like that the tank bullets don't... the tank bullets go through your bullets. I think that's cool. I think that's a really good, like, way. They're big enough that you can clearly see that you're not destroying them. I think that that's nice. In fact, I don't actually think that any of the bullets appear to destroy each other. Now that I'm looking at it, but like maybe they should. Maybe there are bullets that should be destroyable. This level, even on the easiest difficulty, doesn't feel fun. And maybe that's because it is on the easiest difficulty. I don't know. I was able to beat it that time. I do worry that, like, I think the bullets move too fast. I think the bullets move too fast to reasonably react to. So, like, I don't feel like I'm making decisions. I feel like I'm getting lucky. Sorry, I'm trying to, like, change gears to try to give you, like, actual constructive feedback. Like, the white guys are cool because they, like, change your stuff. But, like, I think that, like, for the movement that all the other bullets have, it's just, like, it just becomes a screen of bullets, and it's like it's not something that you can really deal with. And that's like on, you know, level 7 on a really easy difficulty. I am climbing the leaderboard. I think that's mostly because I'm playing the game. Because obviously, like, this is telling to me, and I don't mean to, I'm not trying to insult you, but this is really telling to me that, like, the first level, you have a ton of people who play it. The second level, you have, I don't know how many people have played that. But, like, only 3 people have tried to finish, have finished the 4th level. 6 people have finished the 6th. 8 people have finished this one, and you are the only person who has finished the 8th level. And you are the only person who has finished the 9th level. So that tells me that either the difficulty for these levels is way too high, regardless of what the game settings are. Even at the highest game settings, the difficulty is too high, or your game isn't engaging enough for people to want to play those levels. And so, if you have levels like level 4, where people aren't bothering to beat it, but level 4 isn't meant to be that hard. Level 4 isn't meant to be a level where people just give up. So why are they? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. What is it about my game that is not engaging enough that I lose people at level 4? Like those are the game design questions. Like the fact that you give the player a difficulty slider, the player doesn't get to pick what the enemies do. The player doesn't get to pick the like anything about the enemies. And so if the enemies suck, that slider doesn't mean shit. Like I still have to play against those. I still have to be the guy in the room with the enemies that are really hard, and don't feel fun to beat. So like that's, you know, I'm just trying to like use data to show you, like, clearly some of these levels people played a lot of. People like, a lot of people like the first level. I assume any level with a 9 on it, a lot of people liked. I assume the first 3 levels you have a lot of stuff with that, like, people really enjoy. This is telling. This is data, and like, if you can get this kind of data in your game, I think it's super cool that you went for a online high score. I think that, like, by doing that, you really get a lot of feedback from your players about what's working and what isn't working in your game, and I think you need to actionably use that feedback. I'm not here to tell you, like, I'm here to give you my opinion on what I wish your game was, but you are the game creator, and it is your vision, it is your art, and if you want it to play that way, that's fine. If you want it to be this thing, that's fine. But you also have to look at where there may be flaws even within your vision. And that's the thing I'm pointing to here. And, like, it's great that these levels are supposed to be hard, but, like, nobody has found it within their... Like, I was playing that... that game with the you cannot change much on the fly. You know, you can upload a new version of the game. Like, I'm not saying that you need to fix this game. I'm saying you need to rethink your ideas about game design and the designs that went into this game. Like, if this game doesn't change for the duration of Ludum Dare or your life, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, like, your decisions that went into this game, you need to rethink some of those, because clearly there were some missteps in terms of people's engagement in continuing to play it. Like, when I had a guy earlier in my chat say he didn't play the last 2 levels of my game, that was a huge red flag to me. That was like, holy shit. Are you serious? My game's only 7 levels. It takes you 2.5 minutes to beat. You couldn't be asked to play the last 2 levels. You felt like you were done with it. That tells me my game isn't fun enough. That tells me my game isn't engaging enough. That tells me maybe he didn't like the type of game that it was. Like, there's a lot of things that, like, those should be like, oh no, there's something wrong. Why isn't it fun? Why don't you want to keep playing? Like, out of all of the games that I've played tonight, Minimod and... where is it? The item management game were by far the most enjoyable. Manage Your Stuff. Minimod and Manage Your Stuff were games that I wanted to keep playing. And, like, that's a little bit about my taste in games, but that's also about the game being fun. And so if people don't want to keep playing your game, you need to keep working on designing it, improving it, making it so people want to play it. Because like, yeah, you can make the argument that like, oh, I'm trying to make something for a niche audience. You don't get my game. But like, fucking XCOM Enemy Unknown is it's not about necessarily addictiveness, but like XCOM Enemy Unknown, the turn-based strategy genre is like a niche fucking genre, but that game blew the fuck up because it is fun. You don't need to be super into that genre to understand that game or to enjoy that game. There are so many examples of that where you have a good game and it doesn't matter if it's niche. You made something that is intrinsically fun. Anyway, I am super sorry, Boltkey. You have been really, really respectful in chat and a great person to have. I do not mean to go off on you on that. I think you made a really cool game. I think that it looked really good. It seemed like there were no bugs. There were no problems with it. For being a 72 hour jam, it was super cool. I'm just trying to provide you like constructive feedback, constructive criticism to move forward. And I am fucking exhausted. So I'm sorry if my tone was not as respectful or as positive as it has been with other games, but I really need to get to bed. So thank you everyone so much for sharing your games. I will be streaming again tomorrow. I will be, open to more submissions then. I really appreciate all the submissions I got today. I hope the people that heard my feedback appreciate it, or were able to enjoy it, or that it was enlightening. I'm not, I'm trying to make it as a professional game developer. I'm not there yet. Like, I haven't shipped a game, so like we're all learning together. I'm trying to give you guys feedback. We're all a big community here. Thank you for the good night, Binary Spark. Thank you, Boltkey. I'm glad you appreciate the feedback. Do you have a submission form for trying out Ludum Dare games? I don't. You will submit them in chat when I wake up tomorrow and start streaming. By the time I get back, you'll definitely be there. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you guys all throughout the week. I really do. I really enjoyed this stream. Thank you so much. Let me raid or throw you guys to another stream to make somebody's night, because that's usually a nice thing to do. So let me see if I can find someone who is going to appreciate or enjoy having all of you find people. Submission forms are like technical debt. You're not wrong. Hold on. Ludum Dare. Yeah, sure. Is anyone streaming Ludum Dare? I'm one of 3 live channels. Okay. Fucking Kafka loves you. You're about to get a shitload of viewers. Oh, hold on. Is he saying stuff at least? Great. Okay. I'm gonna just raid this guy. Kafka loves you. You guys send him my love. I don't know who this is, but everybody click the raid. Get over there. Thank you so much. Keep the positive vibes alive for Ludum Dare. We'll be doing more of this, or doing this all week. Gonna be doing more of it. Thank you so much. And then I'm going to I don't know what the raid message is. Erebus raid. Fuck it. Erebus Wolf raid. Man.